An all-out search for a stolen dog is underway in Santa Cruz. Apple is the dog, a mixed-breed Chihuahua. It went missing last week. Action News reporter Phil Gomez is live from Santa Cruz with the effort to track that dog down.
Dan, Apple's been missing for the last 4 days, and her owner is frantic to get her back. She was taken from his office at the Chi Center in downtown Santa Cruz.
She's a little 5-pound Chihuahua, but she's like my baby.
Video from a nearby business at the Pacific Avenue offices shows a woman carrying Apple away. She's about 5'9", in her late 20s or early 30s, with brownish red hair, wearing bell-bottom jeans.
I don't want to criminalize this woman. I don't know what the circumstances are. This community, we just want our little dog back.
The word gets out.
And the downtown community is doing what it can, printing out flyers and posting images of Apple on social media. Apple was adopted by all at Next Space.
She was one of our members, one of our families.
If you're going to mess with Apple, you definitely, this person chose the wrong dog to take.
When you have a pet you treasure, you take lots of photos, and Todd was no exception. Apple even had her own Instagram account. She enjoys coffee, is a world traveler, and is a bit mischievous, but now she's missing. If you haven't guessed already, Todd named Apple after a computer company.
She's like my daughter, so it's hard to just not do enough.
Apple doesn't have a collar, nor has she been chipped. She has no tail and has a scar along her belly. Dan?
Thank you very much, Phil. Santa Cruz police are investigating. Todd is offering a reward for Apple's safe return. No questions asked. Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office is hoping to add another tool to crack down on gang violence. Last week, a Soquel man was murdered at Emerald Bay Apartments. A couple weeks before that, there was a shooting in a Safeway parking lot. Now, the Sheriff's Office wants to put a license plate reader along Soquel Drive from Highway 1 to 41st Avenue.
The Sheriff's Office, we would use it specifically for these violent crimes that have occurred as an investigative lead. I would envision if a shooting or something happened during a certain time frame and a vehicle was seen leaving, we would search what vehicles were seen on that camera at that time.
Sheriff's Office has added an extra patrol overnight along that stretch of roadway. Tomorrow, they will hold a meeting at 5:30 in the community room to talk about the plan.
New at 6 tonight, Marina High School is getting a new kitchen. The school says its culinary arts courses have been making a big difference in the lives of students, and now they're in need of a bigger, better kitchen, and they're getting it. Action News reporter Caitlin Conrad joins us live in Monterey with all the details.
Aaron, this is part of a push nationwide to bring back vocational education. Classes like home ec and shop that were cut in the past are now coming back, but the culinary arts program at Marina High School takes skills-based learning to a higher level.
But since they're warm, seeing them, that's really beautiful, that leg meat right there.
Chef Alan Mello's classroom is a hotbed of activity.
If you've never tasted crab before, I'm sorry.
The kids don't sit at desks, they're put to work in the kitchen, and on this particular day, the work is prepping and eating seafood.
This is the flavor of the fish, this is the fatness of it. That's what you want to have.
Guest speaker Robbie Teresi of Ocean Fresh Seafood brought in the works: ahi, tuna, live crab, oysters.
And just to teach the kids about what's good and what's bad in the ocean.
A lot of times you see they're just a little bit open, and if you just tap, and if it's alive, it'll go, hey, what's going on? And it'll close. And if it doesn't close, you don't want to cook it.
The culinary arts program is one of the new technical career courses rolled out by Monterey Peninsula Unified School District.
There's a lot of students that have really never had a chance to do something with their hands and learn a skill, and it changes them.
Mello was an executive chef, and he still runs a tight kitchen, taking some of his top students out into the field to cater events.
He's taken me to culinary events where we've cooked for like 250 people. So I know for a fact being a chef is hard, and it's a lot of stressful, busybody work.
Student Joey Baroni says even if he doesn't land a job as a cook, he will be able to feed himself thanks to Mello.
So like if I go home, I can make all this stuff that we learned to make in here.
The culinary course has proved so successful, the school's investing in a new $2 million kitchen, with half the money coming from a grant. Mello says the professional equipment will up their game and, more importantly, keep teaching the fundamentals of cooking.
Taking responsibility, how to communicate, how to collaborate, all those skills that employers are looking for. And so when a kid comes in here that's not interested in culinary arts, he's going to get some skills that are going to help him in any job.
Hospitality is the biggest industry here on the Monterey Peninsula, and part of the coursework is learning that there are good jobs right here at home. Erin?
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Caitlin. At a recent district meeting, the board voted to approve hiring architects to design the new kitchen, one of the first steps in getting it up and running.
Coming up, a Southwest jet blows an engine forced to make an emergency landing. What passengers say about the chaos midair.
New questions in the Stephon Clark shooting investigation. Why a former Sacramento County sheriff says he's not surprised officers waited 5 minutes to render aid.
Bay Area News Watch, 15 people hurt after a fire rips through a San Jose apartment complex.
Plus, it is tax day, of course, but procrastinators, you are catching a break. Why the IRS is giving everyone an extra day. First, though, here's our chief meteorologist, Lee Solomon, for the first look at tonight's weather.
And it's a nice look, too. Mostly clear out there. You notice a couple of cumulus clouds have formed this afternoon. Those are pretty nice to see up in the sky. Otherwise, kind of chilly. 56 right now in Monterey. West-northwest wind at 10. Relative humidity at 67%. And mostly middle and upper 50s going. A few low 60s left over from the daytime highs for the inland valleys. And your breeze coming in out of the west at about 5 to 15. We got some high overcast coming in through the evening hours, chilling down between 50 and 60. More showers in the forecast. We'll talk about that and the rest of your work week coming up in just a few minutes.
Coverage you can count on with Dan Green, Erin Clark, Drea Blackwell, and Chief Meteorologist Lee Solomon. This is KSBW Action News 8.
Terrifying moments for passengers and crew aboard a Southwest jet. An engine blew up in midair, knocking out a window and sending shrapnel into the cabin.
There were 144 passengers on board. One of them was killed.
The explosion that blew out the window led to that sudden drop in pressure, which would happen in a plane. That nearly sucked one of the passengers through a window. Other passengers managed to pull her back in, but she was critically injured and later died.
Action News reporter Mark Barger has more.
A harrowing experience for passengers aboard a Southwest Airlines flight, forced to make an emergency landing in Philadelphia after its engine blew. Part of its covering ripped off, shattering a window and damaging the fuselage in midair.
The flight crew did an incredible job getting this aircraft here on the ground.
Passengers on board described hearing a loud noise, many driven to tears.
The left engine blew, and it apparently threw shrapnel into one of the windows and depressurized the plane immediately.
The NTSB is now reporting a passenger died in the accident.
There was a panic once the window broke and she was out of the window. Everyone kind of rushed in to pull her back into the plane.
Terrified passengers were forced to breathe through oxygen masks. Some posted images on social media.
This is a very sad day, and on behalf of the entire Southwest family, I want to extend my deepest sympathies for the family and the loved ones of the deceased customer.
The 737 en route from New York to Dallas had more than 140 passengers and 5 crew members on board.
The crew declared an emergency, brought the aircraft down. As far as we can tell, the safety systems on board the aircraft worked as designed for that type of a descent.
Once safely on the ground, most of the passengers and crew were able to walk onto the tarmac. 7 other passengers were treated for minor injuries. The NTSB will lead the investigation. Mark Barker, NBC News.
Okay.
All right. Drea's here. Preview what's coming up in sports.
Yeah, Giants on the road tonight taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're happy to have their pitcher Johnny Cueto back on the field. Now we'll have a preview of that game in just a few minutes. But first, we want to get to tonight's sports quiz. True or false question. Before joining the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant had never played in the NBA Finals. We'll have your answer in more sports in about 20 minutes.
Bay Area News Watch, more than a dozen people